everyone. My name is Mrs. Murphy, and I'm your school counselor, and I'm so glad to have you all here today for our divorce support group. And really quick, I just want everybody to introduce themselves so we can all start to get to know each other. So this is our talking ball. Whenever you are given the ball, that means it's your turn to talk. So Ben, we're going to start off with you. Introduce yourself to everyone.
My name is Ben.
I'm Maddie.
And Lily. And Tara.
Okay, thanks. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about what this group is going to look like. Like I said, we're here for divorce support. All of you are going through similar situations with your families, and we are here to be a safe place and a support to each other and kind of work through some of the things that you're going through. And within our group, we are going to have some ground rules. The first one is we're going to respect others' opinions. Everyone is going through different emotions and different things and may have a different opinion or viewpoint than you have, and we're going to respect that in each other. Okay? Sound good? Okay. The next one is a pretty big deal. It's confidentiality. We need to keep confidentiality within the group. That means that what is said in our group stays in this group as far as you students are concerned. That means when you go to lunch, you don't go talk to your friends about what we discussed in group today, okay? I want you to think about how you would feel if you shared something really important to you and really kind of private, and one of the group members went and told somebody else. So we don't want to do that, okay? As far as I'm concerned as your school counselor, there are times when I have to break confidentiality. And that is when someone is showing signs that they're going to hurt themselves or hurt someone else, that I would need to talk to somebody who could step in and intervene and help with that situation. Okay? Does everybody understand? Okay. Like I said, student holding the ball gets to speak. Please wait your turn and give everybody the respect to have a turn talking. And then the last one is we want our group to be a safe place. This is a place where we're going to talk about, what's going on in our personal lives and what's going on with your families. And this is going to be a safe place where you feel comfortable doing that. That's my hope. So, does everybody understand the ground rules? Mm-hmm. Do you think there are any that we need to add?
No.
No? Do those sound good? Okay. The next thing I want to come up with is our group goals. When we get to the end of our 6 sessions in this group, what are the goals that you think we need to have accomplished? Maddie?
To get closure.
To get closure, okay. Okay, does anyone else want the ball? Okay, Liliana.
To stop feeling guilty.
Stop feeling guilty. Okay. All right, who's next? Tara.
To have people to relate to.
People to relate to. Okay. Ben, do you have any ideas? You don't have any group goals? Okay, that's all right. I think those are some great goals to have. So we will try to accomplish those in the next 6 weeks. So first of all, this is kind of personal, and we don't really know each other all that well yet. So I'd like to do like a little game to get started, to kind of get everybody feeling a little more comfortable and get to know each other a little bit better. And what I'd like for you to do is we're going to play a game called like true or false or fact or fiction. I want you to write down 3 things about yourself, 2 that are true, 1 that's false. And I'm going to give you 1 minute. Go. Okay, done. Got done really fast. Okay, And are yours finished? Okay. Okay, time's up. Okay. Lillian, we're going to have you go first.
The first one is I love pink.
I love pink. Okay.
I like elephants. And I've been to Texas.
Texas. Okay. Anybody have any ideas which one might be false? Pass the ball to Ben.
That you like pink.
Yeah, that's false.
So it's false that you like pink. Okay. And Ben, why don't you go since you have the ball?
Okay. I want to be in the Navy SEALs. I've been to England and I do wrestling.
Okay. Who has any ideas of what's false? Okay, Tara.
I think that you want to be a Navy SEAL.
Yeah, that's wrong.
So being a Navy SEAL is false?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Tara, your turn.
Okay, I've held a baby sloth, I played the saxophone, and I know how to speak Russian.
Okay. Maddie.
I think you know how to speak Russian is false.
Okay. So you don't know how to speak Russian?
Sadly, no.
No. Okay. Maybe you'll learn one day.
I did.
Okay. Maddie.
I've swum with stingrays, I've been to Canada, and I've visited Alaska.
You swam with stingrays. You visited Alaska?
Okay, so you have not visited Alaska. Okay, so those are some interesting things to learn about each other. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'd like to talk a little bit about our game of true and false. Sometimes we have feelings about ourselves or about situations that we're in that maybe are not totally true to what reality is. And sometimes those negative feelings and those false feelings can really weigh us down and kind of take over any positive or realistic thoughts that we have. And so when it comes to a situation like you guys are in, where you're dealing with a lot of change in your families, sometimes kids can feel like it's their fault that their parents are splitting up and that their family is changing. And so what I would like to do is for each of you to share just the basics of what changes are going on in your family and why are your parents splitting up. So Ben, we'll start with you. Remember, this is confidential and this is a safe place, okay?
So my parents have been fighting every single day and they want to split.
Okay. Thank you for sharing, Ben.
My mom met somebody else after work.
Okay.
My dad is divorcing my mom and moving to Seattle.
Okay.
My parents have been fighting and I haven't been able to see my dad.
Okay. Okay. Would anyone like to share how they're feeling about the situation going on with their parents? Ben?
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad? Okay. Maddie?
Angry at my mom.
Angry at your mom?
I feel upset, but also at the same time kind of numb since it's been going on a while.
Okay, upset and it's been going on a while. Okay, thank you for sharing, Tara. Liliana?
Guilty, because I think it's my fault.
Guilty because you think it's your fault. Okay. I'd like to stop on that one for just a minute. Feeling angry, feeling upset, feeling kind of numb to your feelings, those are all, very valid feelings that you all are having. And like we were talking about before with our game we played, sometimes we have feelings that aren't true, right? And what I'd like for you to think about are choices. So we all make our own choices, right? Okay, we make good choices sometimes that have positive consequences, and sometimes we make bad choices that have negative consequences. Okay, in the situation of your parents deciding to not be married anymore, whose fault do you think that is, truly? Do you think it's your fault, or do you think it's choices they've made? Lily, what do you think?
I think it's the choices that they're making. Since they're the ones who wants to be divorced.
Okay, so you do, now that you've thought about it a little bit, you think that it's their choices and not your fault? Okay. guys to think about something that has been very special to you or important to you that you've lost or that's been destroyed, but it wasn't your fault. Someone like to start? Ben?
So, I was at PE, and when we went to go back and change, my wallet was gone, and I had over $200 in it.
Okay. And how did that make you feel when you saw that your wallet was gone?
I was pretty devastated because I really wanted to buy a PS4.
You were devastated because you wanted a PS4.
Yeah.
Okay. I can imagine. Okay.
I was at my friend's house and she threw my phone to me and it broke.
And your phone broke. Okay. Liliana?
My brother, he slammed down my DS whenever I was playing it, and it broke in half.
Okay.
I haven't been able to incorporate
You can't think of one yet? Okay. So sometimes when other people make choices that are not good choices and it affects us, we still have feelings about that, right? So devastated, upset, frustrated, those are all feelings that we can have, right? Well, the same is true in the situation with divorce. It's not the kid's fault. It's choices made by the parents. And that's something that we're really going to talk about a lot in this group. So I want you guys to be aware and be mindful of not only your choices, but of the choices others make around you that do affect you, okay? So when we lose something, especially something really important to us, we go through grief. Do you guys understand what grief is? Mm-hmm. Okay. So grief kind of comes after a crisis usually. And it's the way we feel and kind of work through loss. And so there are 5 different stages of grief, and I'm going to pass out a handout to you guys. And this is for you guys to keep. Okay, and I want you to look over that for just a second as I read through them. And then we're going to talk about the stages of grief. So stage 1 is shock or denial. Denial acts as a buffer. It gives the person time to regroup, take stock, and eventually mobilize other defenses. A person in the denial stage of grief finds it hard to believe or accept the death and may think this can't be happening, seem to have forgotten the death by acting and feeling or clown-like. So in feeling, you're talking about feeling numb. Pretend the loss has not occurred or that everything is fine. Have you guys maybe seen some of that in your families, that people are kind of pretending like this isn't happening? Or maybe you've kind of felt that way? Okay, so that's the shock and denial stage. Stage 2 is anger. Anger allows the full force of emotions to be felt by the person. It may be directed or diffused by acting belligerent with anyone. A person experiencing the anger stage of grief may think, I hate her for doing that. Like you said, you're angry with your mom. When it's grief because of a death, you're mad at that person for dying. Blame others. Maybe have a hostile attitude. Maybe destroy things or have, just kind of negative antisocial behavior to kind of cope with this anger stage of grief that you're going through. And the next stage is bargaining or guilt. So Liliana, I know you talked about guilt a little bit. Has anyone else felt guilt in the process of their parents getting divorced? You felt guilt as well? Okay. So bargaining is an attempt to postpone something that will inevitably happen, or even to negate something that has already happened. So people may think, if I become a better person, maybe my parents will get back together. If I just follow all the rules, maybe they won't get divorced. Apologize thinking it's their fault. And we've talked about that a little bit. Maybe have self-destructive behavior. And then the next stage is depression. And depression is the preparation for acceptance. It is the initial realization of what will happen or what has already happened. And it brings with it the full sadness of reality. A person exhibiting signs of the depression stage of grieving may think, why even try anymore? They may worry about the health of other people in their family or their self. They cry a lot. May experiment with alcohol and drugs to cope, or experience a drop in their grades, because they have a hard time concentrating. So if anyone's willing to share, has anyone experienced any of these stages so far? Or maybe you're aware of what the one you're in. Maddie?
I've experienced the anger stage.
Okay.
I'm mad at my mom.
So you're in the anger stage right now. Okay. Tara?
I'm in the depression stage.
The depression stage? Okay. And can you share what some of the signs of depression are?
I haven't been able to sleep.
Okay.
Really, in school I started to get little grades like D's and F's because that's all I've been thinking about.
Okay. Okay. Does anyone else want to share the stage of grief they're in? Okay. Okay. So stage 5 is where we want to get to eventually, and that's the stage of acceptance. And so, Maddie, I know for one of our group goals, you said closure, and acceptance is kind of the same thing as closure. Acceptance is the beginning of the end of the struggle with a death or other loss. It's a point for reconciling with the past and progressing into the future. A person showing signs of the acceptance stage of grief may think, what's done is done, and I have to move on with my life now. So this process of grieving, it can vary from person to person. It can vary in length of time. Some people may kind of fluctuate between stages, for a while. And most people do need help and support, and this is why we're having this group, to be a help and support to you guys to work through all of this. And so, does anybody have any questions so far, or anything else that they would like to share that we've talked about so far, or reflect on? Ben?
I'm kind of in the stage 5 mode.
You're in stage 5?
I've just been thinking it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but we have to get on with our life.
Okay.
Just get over it.
So you feel like you've come to a phase of acceptance?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maddie?
I just want to know if you could be in multiple stages at once.
Yes, like I was saying, you can kind of fluctuate, back and forth, and could be dealing with 2 stages at one time. And so, absolutely. What stages do you think that you're kind of in between right now?
I think I'm in between anger and depression.
Anger and depression. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, well, thank you guys so much for being so open today and for sharing. Just really quick to end, I just have a little survey for you guys to take. And this is for you just to assess where you're at the end of today's session. And so I have 3 questions for you to answer. Today I learned that I remembered that and I was surprised that. And so you guys fill in the blanks. And then I would like for you to answer how helpful today's session was for you. Very helpful, somewhat helpful, or not helpful, because that's going to help me prepare for our next session. Okay, when you're finished, you guys can hand those back to me. Thank you very much. And I'd like for you guys to take your stages of grief paper with you. That's something that we're going to be referring to through every session. And so why don't you take that with you, and you can have it with you at home to, reflect on and bring back with you next week. So girls, when you're all finished, we'll say goodbye and you guys can head to lunch. Okay?